But it all comes down to this. Polls are now open all across New Hampshire in the first primary of the 2024 Republican race for the White House. It is now a one-on-one face-off between Donald Trump and Nikki Haley. And today's vote is a kind of a make-or-break moment for the Haley campaign in their mission to beat Donald Trump after she finished third in Iowa. But New Hampshire marks an entirely different political landscape. Undeclared voters make up the biggest segment of the electorate in a state that is more suburban and more secular than Iowa. And past midnight yesterday, a bright spot for the Haley campaign in Dixville Notch, sweeping all 6 votes in the small-town tradition that has endured since 1960. Trump's former Republican opponents rallying around him in a show of force, while Haley took some jabs on her own.
So if you want a losing candidate who puts America last, vote for Nikki Haley. But if you want a president who puts America first every single time, you're going to vote for Donald J. Trump, and you have to get out of here.
So what I will say to Donald Trump is, if you have that political elite, you can have them. Because that's never who I wanted to work for. I always wanted to serve the people.
And let's get right to our reporters on the ground all across the Granite State today. NBC News correspondents Garrett Hake, Ali Vitale, and Shaquille Brewster are ready to go. So, Garrett, what's the mood inside Trump campaign today? Is there any concern about any last-minute upset, surprise upset?
Jose, I wouldn't say that, no. The Trump campaign is very confident that they're going to ultimately win this primary race tonight. They think it'll probably look a lot like what they saw in 2016 with a double-digit victory over Nikki Haley tonight. What the Trump campaign is trying to do now is figure out what their strategy is going to be going forward. A Trump senior advisor told me yesterday they want to try to make Nikki Haley's life miserable for as long as she decides to stay in this race. Does that mean attacking her directly? Does that mean basically ignoring her? How do they make this the sort of two-person race they want, which is Trump versus Joe Biden? And, Jose, I got to tell you, talking to voters here in Nashua today, I found, what you would expect, some pretty pro-Trump folks, but also some warning signs, I think, for the former president as he tries to look beyond this primary. I want to play for you my conversation with a voter named Steve Hansen, longtime Republican voter who voted for Donald Trump twice but is voting for Nikki Haley today. Listen to our conversation. Who'd you vote for today?
Nikki Haley.
Tell me why.
Why? I could not vote for Trump.
Process of elimination?
I voted for him twice, but after all the stuff that's gone on, and I just could not vote for him again.
You mean after the stuff after the 2020 election?
Yes. Yeah, I think that's a fair fair statement.
Is there anything Donald Trump can do to win back your vote between now and November, if he is the guy?
No.
That's pretty firm.
He's already shown me his hand, so to speak.
Jose, I think that's the kind of thing that gives Nikki Haley and her supporters a little bit of optimism. And it's the kind of thing that the Trump campaign is at some point going to have to start dealing with if he is the nominee. Putting back together his coalition means having people like Steve, traditional Republicans, back in the tent. And I keep meeting people like him across Iowa and New Hampshire who were with Trump in some cases for years, but are having a very hard time getting back on the Trump train. It's something we're going to need to keep watching as we keep covering this election.
Yeah, I mean, Ali, so much is on the line today for the Haley campaign. How are they feeling about their chances right now?
So much is on the line for them, but they're setting expectations that don't say that they believe they have to win here. Instead, Haley is just simply saying she wants to do better here than she did in Iowa, which is innately impossible for her not to do just because there's now only 2 people in the race. So, of course, she's going to come in second, which is higher than the third place finish she had in Iowa. Listen to part of our conversation yesterday where we talked about the expectation game and the stakes here on the ground.
Our goal is to be stronger than we were in Iowa and then keep going to my sweet state of South Carolina. So the focus is you just keep going and you keep building. Let's keep in mind, we don't do coronations in this country. You got to do more than just 1.5% in one state and say, oh, it's his to have. No, it's not, because 70% of Americans don't want a Trump-Biden rematch.
So Haley there still trying to basically hold the dam that's coming of Republicans who are endorsing the former president, many of whom are saying that he's the presumptive nominee, that she should just fall in line at this point. It's clear from my conversations with her that she is going to continue running through the tape. She said she'll run through every last second to give voters an alternative. But I want to pick up on something that Garrett said, because it's really important, and it's something that I've been finding, too, as I've been going through Iowa and New Hampshire, sort of alongside him and Shaq. It's that I have been meeting voters, many of whom are voting for Haley, but many of them were Trump voters 2 times over, in 2016 and in 2020, who said that they are not voting for him in this primary. For many of them, their breaking point was January 6th, or the continued lies about the election, or Trump's lack of response to the insurrection on the day that it happened. I think that might be surprising for some of our viewers to hear, just given the polling data that we see among Republicans. But I have met many of those people, and when I ask them the same question that Garrett asked, which is effectively, okay, well, what happens if you end up in 2024 with a 2020 redux of Biden versus Trump? What do you do? Some of them say they'll hold their nose and vote for Trump again, but many of them just tell me they're going to stay home. And that's a lack of engagement problem that maybe present Trump doesn't have to deal with, but certainly future Trump will have to deal with if this is, as it always is, an election of turnout in the 2024 general. So, of course, we're looking short term here in New Hampshire, but we're also looking down the road for what the implications of this primary are going to be on the general.
Indeed. And when we're talking about this primary, I mean, Haley has made such a major play for independent voters there. How does the campaign see that translating beyond New Hampshire?
Well, look, what they're doing is really fascinating here on the ground, Jose, because we've seen Haley on the ground in recent days responding to attacks from Trump that call into question her conservative credentials. Haley has now been on the ground on Fox News and other places trying to remind people that, in her words, she was a Tea Party governor of South Carolina. Again, trying to bolster the idea that she's not what Trump would call her, which is a Republican in name only, or a rhino. Instead, Haley's trying to bolster that. But at the same time, she's been very careful in a lot of her answers on key issues, not to offend the MAGA base in hopes of trying to pull some of them along, but then also trying to make clear that she's here to make as big a tent as possible. When I asked her about some of the criticism that she had been getting at that point from Ron DeSantis when he was still in the race, about the coalition she's trying to build here, which is not just Republicans, but also undeclared voters and maybe some Democrats who way back in October were able to switch to undeclared and be able to play in this primary. What Haley said is, isn't that what you want? She told me that the goal for her is to try to broaden the tent, make it so that the party can bring in as many people as possible. And she referenced the fact that Republicans have not won the popular vote in many election cycles. She would like to be the one to reverse that. But again, that's a general election argument that Haley is making over and over and over again. But we're still squarely in the primary phase of this. This state presents her an opportunity. It allows her to coalition build in a way that she will not be able to do down the line. But at the same time, it's unclear that it's going to be enough.
And Shaquille, meanwhile, you're in Laconia, which is where Trump held his final New Hampshire rally before Election Day. What are you seeing there today?
Right. Well, Jose, you're definitely seeing a mix of voters here in Laconia. A lot of support for former President Trump. You have support for Nikki Haley. But one thing that I continue to hear is a lot of that support, people who come out and say that they voted for Nikki Haley, they put it in the context of the alternative. They keep mentioning Donald Trump, and that continues to be the dominant factor based on the conversations that I've been having. I want you to just listen to some of the conversations we've been having here in Laconia, which has been somewhat of a bellwether for the state, at least looking back at 2016. The results here mirrored what you saw statewide.
It feels so good to vote and have the opportunity to come out today. Even though it's cold, we're here, we get to vote. Everyone get out there, do what you got to do, and let's go.
Who did you end up supporting? I know this was a contested election.
Oh, well, Nikki.
Why Nikki Haley?
Because I think she can do an excellent job.
I'd rather be with Trump, I guess, just because he's been there, and I know he's a big mouth, but it's, you know, I'd rather stick with him.
And I think that whisper that you heard from one of the voters, that said so much, because we also talk about enthusiasm here. You have former President Trump here just last night. His voters are excited about him. They want to defend him. They want to come back out for him. For Nikki Haley, many of her supporters, they are supporting her in the context of not wanting to support Donald Trump.
And Shaquille, in New Hampshire, there are Republicans, Democrats, and people who are undeclared. Explain what that means and why that group is so important.
Yeah, Jose, and I can almost show you the process a little bit in this voting location, because when voters come in, you see they hand their ID, they read out their name and their address, and then if they're undeclared or independent, they are asked, do you want a Republican ballot or do you want a Democratic ballot? And that is where Nikki Haley feels like she has some hope, and that's what you hear her campaign talking about, where if you're undeclared, you can choose to participate in the Republican primary. And there is also some risk there. I spoke to a voter this morning who, as of this morning, he was still undecided. He was undeclared and undecided. He said he was deciding between voting in the Democratic primary and writing in Joe Biden's name and choosing Nikki Haley as a way to stop Donald Trump. And he said he saw the news about the record stock market this morning on Facebook, and then ultimately decided to go with Joe Biden. That's someone who could have been someone to help stop Donald Trump, but ultimately didn't do that. And just shows you how fragile that coalition can be when you're relying on people who aren't fully behind you, but are using other candidates to be motivated by.
Garrett Haake, Ali Vitale, and Shaquille Brewster, thank you so very much.